I know, so gay, right? Anyway, back hour number 2 of the Bernie and Sid show. I'm a cowboy. Makes sense for our next guest. He's like rolling his eyes like, oh my God. And, you know, we, of course, big
never
UFC
heard that
here.
before.
Yeah, right. Dana White, in fact, just stopped by yesterday, and after an hour of talking about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton and fat-shaming and all that good stuff, we are graced with the presence of the number 7 UFC welterweight contender, guy that's been kicking ass between extreme cage fighting and UFC for many, many years now. He is the Cowboy, Donald Cerrone. Good morning, Cowboy. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Let me ask you a question. How does a guy from Denver, Colorado, become a cowboy? Like, what's he? How's that?
Obviously, never been out to Colorado, huh?
No, I mean, Denver's kind of like Loto's. Not a lot of cowboys.
It's not the south side of Chicago.
No, I understand that, but Denver doesn't seem to me like a cowboy town. Maybe other parts of
I
Colorado.
grew up in Colorado Springs, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I just
Look, are all the cowboys in Denver?
No, not so many, but
tell me,
just the way it lay. Good life for me. So.
You know, so listen, you are a tough guy. I got to tell you that straight out of the box. You're going to be fighting November 12th, the first UFC 205 down in Madison Square Garden, the first time in New York State.
It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be huge.
Huge.
You are on the undercard fighting a guy named Kelvin.
No, I'm on the main card.
You're on the main card?
Yeah.
What
Come
the hell?
on.
I have it right here. Let's see. You got Tyrone Woodley and Eddie Alvarez and Conor McGregor on the title fight. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with Cowboy.
No, you're right.
Good
You're
idea.
right. You're good.
Okay,
You're good.
so you're fighting this dude, Kevin Gastelum, yes. But you're a bad dude. You fight about a lot. You're a prolific fighter. They say you fight about 4 times a year.
4 to 5 try, yeah.
And you're a tough guy. I almost don't even recognize you, I think, with the beard and the hat.
I'm doing a Western movie back home, so I have
is that right?
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
they're making me grow it out. So yeah.
Is this your first? Are you going to acting as well as this? Your first movie?
It's my first one I've ever done. Yeah, I'm taking to it though. I like it. It's a good time.
Yeah,
but
listen, you get paid a lot of money to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Nate Diaz isn't going to punch you in the face on a movie set.
So now you actually did fight Nate Diaz one time. And,
I did.
Sadly, I think you lost in a decision,
I lost.
right?
Yeah, that was a couple years, 4 years ago.
But you won an award for that. That fight was so good. Both of you guys were so courageous that both of you guys were honored after the bout.
Yeah, I think I set a record for the most unanswered punches to my face in that fight. So it was pretty good.
Nate Diaz, for those of you who don't know, was the guy who fought Conor McGregor twice.
Beat him twice.
You think he beat him the second time?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you
You
like
know what's
that?
funny? Most guys that come in here, we have, Rumble comes in here, Frankie Edgar, we have Dana White, and most of the guys that come in here, they hate Conor McGregor. So anytime they could take because they think he tries to monopolize his smart, they think he's a dick. So anytime somebody could take a shot at Conor, they do. I'm surprised to hear you say that you're a Conor guy. Then I guess.
No. He said he thinks Conor lost.
Nate won a boss. So you remain consistent with the rest of the guys here. Why is that? Why do all you guys hate him?
Well, I don't think I have to hate him just to say that he lost the fight. I mean,
no, but we can extrapolate from that you don't like him.
You don't like him, right? Well, what's the problem?
You're not down with him.
What's the issue?
I'm not. He's not one of the fellas. That's for damn sure.
See that?
No, he's not. I guess he's not liked, but he's sucking up a lot of attention. But Dana White told us yesterday he's brought a lot of attention to the sport.
Sure.
And essentially, Dana White said yesterday that the guys like and Rumble Johnson took a shot at him and Nate Diaz after the last fight. He said, "I don't have to run my mouth and this, that, the other. I get in the octagon and I do my thing." That does all the talking. So even Rumble Johnson took a shot at him. But Dana White said, listen, man, you guys should be thanking Conor McGregor for the attention he does bring to the sport. You don't agree with that? That's okay. Listen, I don't want to put you on the spot, man. Listen, it's all good. It's all. Let me just say this: you're one of the toughest guys in the world on the planet. I've seen you fight. You're amazing. You're unbelievable. Now, do you at this point? Do you get nervous going into the octagon with some of these?
Oh yeah, every time. Definitely nervous. It's your job. Millions of people are watching.
Till you get hit once, right? Then it's like then you're ready to kill.
Yeah,
right? That's all that matters. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you? Let's give me when you're in the octagon, you hear you have your.
So were you the type of kid, because you went from extreme cage UFC, that you must have had a lot of fights as a kid? You had to,
You had to, yeah. Absolutely.
So do you remember how old you were your first fight? And I would imagine you walked away the winner, right? You must have kicked some little kid's ass.
No, I was a little tiny guy. I used to get beat up all the time.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've had my fair share of getting my ass whipped.
So that's why, now you have kind of a chip on you. So you said
no, not a chip. I still fought just as hard then. The guys were a lot bigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So do you remember the first time you actually got the best of somebody, the better of somebody? You're like, you know what? I'm going to kick some ass the rest of my life.
Usually most of the fights end up me getting the better of them because I just wouldn't stop. I just keep coming.
Yeah,
coming.
You got that crazy look, Paul. Like, I can hit you with a chair. I can hit you. You're going to keep going, right?
That's how I always was. So,
Right, exactly. Which
So
is
they beat me up until they got tired or didn't do it anymore.
Until they got tired. That's funny.
You got to take over.
You're like, come on, keep going.
So listen, here's my thing. I love this sport because of it's just so raw, the brutality of it. I love it. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it. It's almost like no holds barred kind of anything goes sport. I know there are some rules. You can't headbutt. You can't knee a guy when he's down in the head at least. But compared to boxing is like table tennis to me next to the UFC MMA fighting. What do you think about boxing? It's yesterday's sport, no?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's yesterday's sport, but I mean, it's still a sport. You know, it's still around. It's one of the older sports, you know. But
you have respect for it.
Absolutely, you know, MMA is just the new beast, man. It's come up. It's just crazy.
On the flip side, I've always been a monster boxing fan my whole life. I still am. I work with HBO for all the major fights, and I was not a UFC guy.
Yeah.
Only recently, and getting to know a lot of you guys, coming up here watching the fights, I am starting to come around.
Sure.
So I'm a guy that loves boxing, but certainly respects how tough you guys are.
Right.
And, I mean, you guys are the ultimate gladiators. I'll admit that.
Sure.
And it's really a brutal sport, man. I mean, brutal. No?
Oh, absolutely. Very brutal.
When you're in a fight, like the fight against Diaz, for example, how long do you have to go before you start to feel, I don't know, better? Like where everything doesn't hurt? Weeks? Months?
No, a couple days.
That's it. You're fine.
Yeah, nothing a cold Budweiser can't fix. I think a couple of them sometimes you need a six-pack, but it just all depends on how bad the fight was.
Right.
You were this close to fighting ruthless Robbie Lawler, who is another just, I don't use the word animal, pejoratively. I use it to describe just a tough guy. That's what I'm trying to say. So you came this close. I saw him fight this guy, Ryan McDonald, I think it is from Canada.
Yeah, Roy McDonald.
McDonald. He busted up his nose, busted his face, and until the fifth round, I think it was 5 rounds. And the kid went down. It was just... I mean, the threshold for pain that you guys have.
No, it's the same as you. I don't endure pain better.
Right, it still hurts.
Still hurts.
Right,
exactly. Still hurts. Yeah, I still
don't cry.
I still stub my toe and it hurts. Yeah.
I just don't know.
Do you have sex?
All the time, as much as I can.
See, it's funny you say that. I talked to Ricky Williams, a former running back for the Dolphins, right? And I go, Ricky, they always tell boxers don't have sex right before the fight because of your legs. I go, you're a running back. He goes, Sid, if I have sex before the fight, before the game, I get 100 yards. If I'm lucky to have sex twice before the game, I'm getting 200 yards. So it's kind of the same thing.
And if I score a bunch of touchdowns, I'll get in sex way after.
So you're okay with there's no such thing as no sex before?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
So on the Bernie and Sid show,
they just did that just to keep the guys focused. You know what I mean?
Right.
Discipline.
Right. But it's nonsense.
We are talking to the Cowboy, Donald Cerrone. He's welterweight in the UFC, a bad, tough dude. He's going to be fighting on the main card November 12th at Madison Square Garden, right downstairs. The first time UFC comes to New York State. And so let me, your welterweight in boxing is the 140s, but in the UFC,
170s.
It's in the 170s. So, but naturally, though, you weigh what, in the 180s or 90s? Because you come down a lot just to fight.
Correct.
That's a grueling thing to do, to have to lose weight, 15 pounds approximately.
It used to be that. Now it's, when I start getting down to fight weight, it's only 4 or 5 pounds, 6 pounds. So we're all right. Now they've moved up a weight class. But when I was at 55, 20, 25 pounds. It was brutal.
And what do you go in the steam room? You stop eating for a while?
A lot of pre-fight sex.
Is that what you do? See, I told you. That's what it is. I told you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And then
just work it off.
So they do.
But you're married, so you don't know much about that anymore.
Oh, no. Let me tell you. It's funny you say that. I'm married 24 years, but let me just say this without getting specific because I respect my wife.
Yeah, sure.
I'm one of the lucky ones.
So once a month kind of guy
now. No. You're funny.
You guys do the weigh-in about 24 hours before the fight.
Correct.
And then you just load up. You start eating again. You gain that weight. You essentially are in the octagon about 10 pounds over the weight class, what you weighed in the day before.
Some guys are even way heavier than that, but yeah, absolutely. It's crazy.
What do you
do?
What is your workout? You're in really good shape. I don't know what your body fat is, but you're in really good shape. What's your daily workout like? What do you do before about? You lift a lot of weights, do you?
Just because I'm up a weight class now, we've been lifting a lot heavier weight. But A lot of cardio and game plan specific training.
So you have to run like 2-3 miles every day?
No, I don't run 0 miles. I've never run for anything in my life, so I don't start now.
Oh, you got to start now?
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Let me tell you something. That's a bitch. If you've never run before, you got to start running 2-3 miles.
You don't run? No, really? No. Wow. No. And it's still in incredible shape. Now, listen, I'm going to ask you maybe an uncomfortable question. You've won 11 of your last 12 fights, I think, right?
Sure.
That's true. Now, the criticism from Dana White is that you was that you're inconsistent. He said, to which Cerrone responds,
I don't know how more consistent I can be.
11 out of 12. It sounds pretty consistent. I mean,
right.
11 out of 12. I'm 18-4 in the UFC. So this next fight will be my 33rd Zuffa fight. I don't know.
So he doesn't like you? There's an issue there. There's something going on.
I don't know what it is. I think he just.
Are you cool with him?
Yeah, real cool.
Yeah. Because I'd be pissed if I were you. I'm not consistent. 11 out of 12. Blow me. You kidding me? I'm serious. Come on. I know you're see, you're being nice because he listens.
I don't care.
Plus,
no, I mean,
he signs the checks, too.
He signs the checks. I mean, it is what it is. I don't know.
All right, so listen, so you're going to go in there and you're going to win this time around and get bigger bucks. That's what's going to happen. That's bottom line.
I'm on bigger bucks now, yeah, so we're good.
You're going to let your feet and your fists do the talking.
What are you getting, about $5 million for this fight?
Oh, I wish. I wish.
Now, listen, Dana...
I would have sex with a man on live TV for $5 million.
Crash, what are you doing November 8th?
But who'd pay, though? That's the question. Now, let me ask, the Dana White in here yesterday. Everybody's talking about politics. You want to wade into those waters? Dana White spoke at the Republican National Convention on behalf of Donald Trump.
I'm a blue-collar cowboy, man. I'm Republican all the way.
My man! So. Yeah! So you're Make America Great Again guy.
I mean, unfortunately, Trump's the donkey we got to deal with, but, yeah, as long as a Republican.
Anybody but Hillary.
They're not going to take my guns away. That's for damn sure. So.
No way.
She's not taking your guns away, bro.
Yeah, she's going to try. She's going to try.
She's going to try to take away if you've got assault weapons and AR-15s and those types of things. No. She may try to take those away.
She wants to take your balls away. She wants to emasculate men in this nation. That's what she wants to do. By taking away your guns partially.
Sure.
So that ain't happening.
Hardly an enthusiastic endorsement by Cowboy for Donald Trump.
But I'll take it. Listen, Donald Cerrone, you're a tough guy, a great guy. You fought your friend Benson Henderson, by the way. I watched that fight, and you beat him. Were you still friends afterward? Or?
Yeah, we're still friends now.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You and I had a fight. You kicked my ass. We're still friends.
That's true.
We're better friends today than we were 13 years ago.
We fought in the ring on TV.
A charity boxing match, and he kicked my ass.
It was the sanctioned amateur bout, and I did kick his ass. And we did remain friends. So, but still, this was a lot more brutal. I mean,
Sure. No, we're still buddies. Yeah, it's just a sport. It's what it is.
That's all it is. You a big Broncos fan? You like
big Broncos fan.
So you go to game like they won the Super Bowl? Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Are you like all Denver sports? Or just...
I was at the Denver Broncos Super Bowl.
Wow.
When they lost the Seahawks too.
In New York, that was here.
It was here.
I was at that game too.
I was staying on the Bud Light cruise ship out there in the harbor.
So if you walk out there, does Peyton Manning and John Elway, those guys know who you are?
Sure, I work out with Peyton all the time in New York, Denver, Colorado.
You're the man, bro. I think I want to be you.
See, we were talking about women earlier, but how about the women in the sport?
Sure,
the UFC
I love
sport?
them. Yeah,
all the respect for them. They have some heart. And on the card, you have these Polish girls fighting. I don't see it here listed, but I just saw. Maybe it was just recently added. That young Polish girl, she was on The Ultimate Fighter. She was the captain. She fought the Brazilian girl to the end of 5 rounds, I believe it was, and beat her.
Joanna, that's
right. Yeah, I mean, but that was better than any male boxing match I've seen in the last 15 years.
Women throw down.
Yes, they do.
What happens, like in wrestling, for example, you had, she's gone now, Elizabeth, I think it was, but like she ended up with like Triple H or something. A lot of the male wrestlers would bang the female wrestlers. Is that something like you and Holly Holm that ever happened or anything like that? Or no?
I mean, you're just a product of your environment, man. You just it tends to happen.
It does happen
all the time.
So really?
So would you say you hit Ronda Rousey, for example?
She's out of my weight class, but.
Wow.
I totally agree.
Hey, let me ask you this.
I'm so with the Cowboy on this one, bro. I'm so with you.
You know what? I have a good question. CM Punk, these wrestlers trying to get in on the UFC game. You came from kickboxing.
Right.
But these wrestlers, I mean, CM Punk, I think, was humiliated, essentially. I mean, give him credit for getting in there.
You got to give him credit,
Absolutely.
Man.
But still, for them to try to come in and steal some of your thunder, do you have any resentment towards these guys? Or?
No, man, he brought a whole new demographic and crowd in. You know, all those guys that followed him for years now are watching us fight. You know, so
right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people hating on him, but buddy, I suck. To learn this and try and learn something that a sport I've been doing for 15 years to try and learn in 2 years.
Tough.
Man, tough. Against guys that have been doing it just as long. You know, so
sure. And this is not fake. This is real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I couldn't just go play football for the Denver Broncos tomorrow. Like, you know, as much as I want to, they put me out there, I'm probably going to get hosed. So, but damn, I'll try.
But you could. I watched the series leading up to the fight, and you could see that he didn't have what it takes. I thought anyway.
Yeah, it takes years, man. 10,000 hours.
But all credit to him. But listen, Donald Cerrone.
Though, Donald, but if you were not a great UFC fighter, which you are, great, it's going to get better. We're really excited for you. We're going to root for you in New York here next month. We're going to root hard for you.
Appreciate it.
If you were not a UFC fighter and you weren't the Cowboy, what would Donald Cerrone be doing today?
Laying hardwood floors.
Really?
In Colorado.
Is that what you did before you?
That's it. I was the best lay in town, baby.
There you go. Just a blue collar guy, just getting laid. Hey, we do have to go. Donald Cerrone on November 12th, Madison Square Garden. He's fighting Kelvin Gastelum. And he's gonna beat some Heine that night.
Guys, anyway, may Connor live forever for you guys, man.
I didn't come here to take part. I came here to take over. Back on Bernie and Sid after this.